Good morning. Oh shit, sorry. I'm supposed to grab you with a catchy intro or exclusive um, to gain you. I've been looking at like social media things because I'm such a caveman when it comes to social media. Um, I wonder what the optimal age is, right, for switching between. We didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have smartphones, and then adapting to the world as it is today. It's fluid, isn't it? It's always going to change. So there's always going to be people left behind. But I found myself lagging behind in terms of like keeping up with social media. And social media is, believe it or not, a massive part of this kind of stuff. Um, and there's ways of coping with it. There's ways of dealing with it. You don't even have to do it yourself. You have to employ someone from a far off land, and you just send them your stuff, and they format it, and over time it gets good. Um, I think maybe I'm a bit of too much of a control freak for that. Uh, Good morning, Omar. These handles are really annoying, aren't they? Hope you're well. Um, but the social media thing, and you see it like exaggerated the further away you get. This is generally speaking, obviously. 5 a.m. squad. I've got no idea who you are. You keep popping up in chats. Are you like Rambler or something? Um, um, yeah, generally speaking, more often than not, like my mum and dad, like they're not. My mum's a bloody graphic designer. She's been, yeah, hello, Aaron. My mum's been a graphic designer. She qualified. She's 60. She's 63. She qualified she went to art school, became graphic designer in what 82. So she's been doing it 43 years, and she's kept up with things a lot. Hello, Kenneth. Um, you think about the change that she's seen, right, as a graphic designer, and she's on like the cusp all the time with the new technology and the new methods of marketing and advertising. She's had to keep up with it as it's changed. And you think about that since the early 80s to now, like the rapid change in one person's career. She's still working now part time in a graphic studio. Um, but compare that to my dad, who's a couple of years older. He was a panel beater and sprayer. Hello, Jody. Um, I've owned fitness 2012. I moved to the country in 2021 and now raise all my own protein. That's fantastic. So, what's the whole 5 a.m. squat club thing? Is that to do with protein? I got no idea. Sorry, I'm probably behind you there. Hello, Augustus. Hope you're well. Haven't heard you from a while. I know you competed a little bit. Uh, the 5 a.m. squat club is a daily follow along morning routine. We do an EMOM every day. Blimey. Sounds like too much for me. Morning dumbbell lift. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what constantly varied functional fitness performed at high intensity. Well, I'm hello, Corey. Hope you're all doing well. America is officially open for business. Um, so yeah, so my dad is abysmal, and the one thing my mum does that really annoys me is on WhatsApp or any messaging platform, you'll see those three dots coming up to say she's typing, and then it'll go, and then it will come back, and she'll be doing that for like 10 minutes, and then it'll come back with like a one-word answer, and you're like, bloody hell. Getting a sink pumping, yeah, good. But my dad just doesn't even bother. Like, he's never had Facebook. He's never been on YouTube. He never does anything. He's a manual. He was panel beater and sprayer for Lamborghini for 30 years until he retired. He's got no interest in social media. His phone just sits down. He doesn't bother. So he's 66, right? My mum's 62, but she's a graphic designer. I'm 40. I don't know if you knew that about me. I never tell anyone. Go on, Justin. Sevi's obviously quite savvy, savvy. But he's the nature of his job is to be involved with technology, wasn't it? It has been. Now, you take obviously those specific examples aside, um, you take all those specific examples like the people that are like high up in their field and really specialists to use technology. Generally speaking, is there a tipping point in an age where you've got enough of the 90s in them that they remember not having a phone or remember not having a mobile and get into their teen years, but then also have managed to keep up. And this is generally speaking. Um, I don't know where people get the effort to be on it all day long and just posting and editing and da 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 da. Da. It's just so like I guess I guess the people that do that, that's their living and that's what they're doing. So maybe that's I just don't have the mind for it. I can sit at a computer and I can only do certain things on my phone. You know, my phone. I can only look at my phone so long before I have to put it down. Um, just yeah. Anyway, don't know where we're going with that. But there you go. Um, looks like you lot are talking about bloody 5 a.m. workouts. Here's the thing with the morning workouts, right? Is that and I used to coach at my old affiliate where I used to own. We had a 5 a.m. twice a week, 3 times a week, depending on time of the year, because we were a commuter town into London. Um, the 5 a.m. is purely a necessity. It doesn't suit anyone's biology to get up at 5 a.m. and crack on and do a really good workout. You're not going to perform better at 5 a.m. So it's born out of necessity to get up that early for whatever different reasons. Um, Optimal time for me, like I often train at 7:30 if I've coached the sits that the early morning classes, I'll train straight after. It's not optimal for me. 9:30 class is bang on for me. I've had a couple of coffees, woken up a bit, coached, brain's active, and I'm good to go. Um, I think there's a certain kudos. I think there's a certain um, tip of the hat from normal people, regular people to people that train early in the morning because it's not no one wants to be up early. No one's going and it's don't say you love getting up early because that alarm going off isn't kind. It's just sort of, sort of necessary. But once you're up, noon was yeah, exactly, right? So once we've established and 5 a.m. squat club, whatever you name it, I don't know your real name. Um, once you have established that fact that you train around necessity, you train around when you can to get it in. Hello, Adam. Always nice to meet you, Adam. Um, you can then eliminate a lot of excuses to why you can't get to the gym. Once you've got rid of that whole I prefer to train at this time. Get that out your system, get that out your head. You can train at whatever time of the day. Then you go and train at that time of the day. It's that initial conversation that you have to have, and that obviously comes a bit more with maturity, but also when we go through life, obviously. If you're a 19-year-old bloody college student or you're a worker, um, you don't have to get up at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning to be double hard and go to the gym to tell everyone on social media. You can get up whenever you like, I'm assuming a bit later, and then go to the gym for your 9:30 or midday class. Um, but once you've settled down, once you've got a full-time job, once real life starts, once you've got kids, all of that changes, and you move into the realm of necessity. Um, and at that point, I think you mature and become a lot more decisive and clear cut with your timekeeping because you have to. And that's why when you don't have the kids around for whatever reason, um, it feels like you got so much time on your hands. You're like, fuck me, what am I going to do with all this time? Um, or be a 19-year-old and live and make mistakes a bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so here's the thing, right? I wouldn't, not exactly, right? There's a certain rite of passage that you I expect 19-year-olds to do that. And it's kind of similar to politics in a way. You expect the youth and the young people to be thinking about their future, about change, about revolution, about democracy, about, you know, all that kind of stuff, because they have nothing to their name. They have no assets. They have no responsibility yet. They've got no people living on every word they say yet. They've got none of that. So everything is a wide open book and everything can be changed. And what's her name? There's a comedian. Oh, saw a video the other day. There's an American comic, female comic. Fucking hell, what's her name? Excuse my French. American. She had a series, American comedian, female. Ah, what is her name? Shit. She had the program. She had the TV show about her. No, I think she might. She's not Jewish. Me, not Miss Patterson. One of the sites, Michelle Wolf, Margaret Cho. No, 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 no. When I say the name, you'll go, oh, Whitney Cummings. Whitney Cummings, right? So Whitney Cummings was on Bill Maher the other day, and she was talking about how she's now turned conservative now that she's got kids and she understands. And it all plays into that. Is once you start to have responsibility in your life, once you have assets, once you have something to protect and to preserve, I think you then start to think about shifting slightly to the righter side of the political spectrum, because those people without any, they don't need that in their life. So that those teenage angst years and, you know, rebellion and all that shit, but it's kind of a rite of passage. And um you know, um yeah, it definitely shifts. um and I think it's just a matter of ownership. The more you own something, the more assets you have, the more responsibility you have, the more protection you want for those things. And that tends to be the more conservative and righter side of the spectrum. The more, the less you have, the less assets, the less everything. You want some of it, and you do that. So the university students, it's sort of a rite of passage that they travel through that and then into ownership. Um, it's similar. I know it's not exactly the same, not a direct analogy, but there you go. Yes. Right, what were we talking about before then? That's what I wish this when I was 19, but you wouldn't know. Yeah, exactly. It's hindsight. It's looking back and looking back. Have you listened to that Baz Luhrmann song? He was the director. He did a song, Wear Sunscreen, or it's called the Sunscreen song, from about 98-ish, I think, maybe earlier. I can't remember, 98, 99. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Do you know what? I saw Jenna posted it yesterday morning, and I went straight on and ordered it, the tie-dye one with Pukey. Oh, I can't wait for that. And also the long sleeve thin hoodie that Chase is wearing with these things are a bit gay. The thumb ring things for when you're cold. Oh really? Okay, cool. So yeah, I went in there, got that. That hoodie, he is handsome, very, very handsome. He shaves his face every year for the games, doesn't he? Give him a more professional look. But that hoodie reminded me of that 2014, 2015 74 series they did. I had a hoodie that was like a real light blue, like a light electric blue, really thin Reebok CrossFit hoodie thing. I thought summer for running. Yeah, but like, why? What's that for? I had a loop thumb Reebok red. Yeah, yeah. It really there's a navy blue one on the CrossFit website at the moment, and it really bloody reminded me of that era. And I like the fact that I like that because we talked about it the other day, didn't we? What the thing? Yeah, I've never really understood all that shit, but you know they're there for a reason. That used to really annoy me as a kid. Do you remember there's always one kid at your school that used to chew the end of their like sweater? There's like they used to chew it and it's all manky and old. Ugh. Oh man, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I'm keeping that up, man. PK takes the piss out of me for wearing board shorts, but I'm there. Keeping the sun off hand. Ah, I'm annoying. Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? You're right. The two lads, there was James Nyman and Mark Lawford, right? And one of them was earlier in life and one of them was later. Both of them were that kid in the schoolroom that clearly couldn't hold their attention for too long. And they were the ones that were like keeping busy. Someone asked me the other day at the gym, "Are you ADHD?" I was like, "Why'd you ask that?" Like, well, because you keep flicking your fingers to the music. I was like, yeah, that's just normal. That's like, I just like you can do this sort of thing. Perfectly normal. Music just gets me going, man. It's redirecting for stim. Yeah, exactly. Something has to move. Something has to be going on at all times. Right, just so you know, guys, in about 12 minutes, I've got Heather coming on, Heather Almers, who is Henrik Almers' wife. She is usually in the shadows working at Coaches Congress. And she's going to come on and she's going to tell me the winners of the giveaway for Coaches Congress in London. So she's going to be doing that in about 10 minutes' time. And then when she's on, I'll be talking about that. And then Heather's got to shoot off after that and we'll carry on talking. But just thought I'd give you a heads up. Yeah. Yeah. I believe so. And in actual fact, I'll give you an example of how Katie and I have come to address that with one of ours. I don't like labeling. I don't think it's. I mean, people. Some cases definitely need it, right? And I'm not completely disregarding it, but I think a lot of the time, especially when it's not severe, I think a lot of the time labeling it and pigeonholing actually doesn't help, especially with the young kids. As they get older and as we get into adulthood, it can be obviously very beneficial. But I don't know. I'm not completely sold on that. Right. Anyway. Right. Oh, for fuck's sake, this thing. Fucking hell. I don't know why I can't share videos for some reason. I'm trying to show you a little cheeky video if I can. If it'll come up.
1, rest.
Right, hang on. It'll hopefully play again.
3, 2, 1, rest.
That was the first one. So this morning, that's the one I just put up, isn't it? Where are we? Let's have a look. If it ever fucking comes up. No? Oh, here we go. So we found, I'll remove that. Tuesday. Yeah, so I've got a very good friend who is on medication for ADHD, as are 2 out of 3 of their kids. And it's very apparent when they haven't had their meds and when they have had their meds. It's very apparent. And for me, that's a very good indication of the fact that it works. However, I'm not entirely, I'm not sold on medication unless it's really necessary. I've got a reservation around it. Adam, I haven't used any. Thanks for noticing. Is it because it's grey or something? And I had a haircut last night. I just shaved the sides. But yeah, I haven't put any in it, so it's a bit dry at the moment. Thanks for noticing. So my brother's was almost debilitating. I noticed that I had to learn to operate on my own. Severity should be taken. Yeah. I obviously medications are there for a reason. Genetic component, meds at an early age can permanently help the brain wire for executive function as not maybe. Yeah, I don't know. What I want to do, right? And the reason I brought that video up of my family all working out this morning, is this, right? And obviously, like I said, we homeschool the kids, and so the workout today, for example, so they were playing out for an hour before in the morning on their bikes. Then they came to the gym. I was coaching that session. So Katie's obviously 22 weeks pregnant today, actually. So she's laying off the intensity in terms of heart rate. She's still moving well. But the workout was 4 minutes of work, 4 minutes of rest. And it was 6 intervals and you alternated between stations. So I did it earlier this morning and I did row, echo, ski. So 4 on, 4 off, twice round on each for meters. We got the kids to do it. And they moved the whole time, like 4 minutes at a time with 4 minutes of rest. We just found the station that they could do. Now, my daughter and my son skied for 4 minutes straight without stopping. And my daughter was getting about 600 odd meters and my son was getting about 500. in 4 minutes. They took the rest well. They were sweaty. They worked for the best part of 40 minutes. They rode and they skipped. So they were skipping for 4 minutes, rest, row for 4 minutes, rest, ski for 4 minutes, twice round. And after the workout, they were calm. They've calmed right down. So CrossFit, what you said earlier about a lot of us that go into the CrossFit gym and that's constant change, that constantly varied and high intensity and low pieces of CrossFit really suits that and that community vibe. The only thing with that is people talk over each other all the time, which is a bugbear of mine. But anyway, so if you can homeschool, try it. Is the advice that I got last year, and what my wife and my wife and I have done. And again, it's really fucking hard to have the conversation about this because it sounds like you're knocking everyone else for what they're doing, sending their kids to school. It's just not the case. We have an opportunity to do it, so we've taken that opportunity. If in a year's time, if by the end of this school year, which we're happy to carry on homeschooling, if we'd have genuinely believed that it had been negative for their health, for their communication skills, for their learning, if we were out of our depth, if we were running out of time in the day that we couldn't earn, if anything like that would have been impacted, we've got no problem sending them to school. There's beautiful schools here that do a really good job. But for what we want for our kids, it makes sense and we're trying it. And at any point, if we don't think of it as a good thing, they're going straight back. So we're approaching it with an open mind and we're trying it, because the last thing I'd want is for them to get to 16 or 18 and then us regret having not tried it. It is hard work. And like all the parents at the moment saying, I can't wait till the kids go back to school, or I can't wait to get time back, or I can't wait that. Like, you grow this different type of bond when they're at home all day. You just do. And it's tough, but you do develop that bond. And it's not purely altruistic because it's selfish. I want to spend as much time as I can with my kids, even though they're annoying little shits sometimes. And they got their own traits and habits that are development areas, let's call it. I love the idea that when I'm older, that I can honestly say that I did everything that I wanted to do with the kids and I spent as much time as I could with them, because there's this overwhelming reflection that I've seen in videos where people say they wish they could go back and spend another day with someone or whatever. And for me, because we've built the opportunity to do that, we can. And I would really regret, I think, not having at least given it a go for a period of time. Katie and I have taken a massive hit with money, but we've made it work. And we've obviously got a third on the way in December, and we just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So that's all it is. It's what's right for you. And I'm in no way, the schools over here are excellent, especially on the island. Like, they do a really good job. They're incredible. They go out walking in the hills for lunch. They have picnics at lunchtime. They go bird spotting. They do all sorts of trips. They do campfires. It's really, really cool. And again, if I felt they were missing out, but they do, my daughter goes Girl Guides or whatever, Brownies, I think is the one below. My son does Cubs, which is the one below Scouts. They go to jiu-jitsu 3 times a week. My son plays football. My daughter does dance and cheer. They play out after, when all the kids go back from school every night. They're playing out for hours at a time. They come to the gym with us and they train and they speak to other adults and kids that are homeschooled as well. They're not missing out on anything. And if I really genuinely did believe that, I only want the best for my kids, like we all do. We only ever want that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a ramble there. Rambler. I'm not Rambler. Yeah. And here's the thing. So can you, as you get older, I saw a thing the other week or another month, whatever it was, and it was this adult female, and she was saying that she'd been diagnosed, and she felt this sense of like freedom and a weight off her back, and she was free to be that. And once she'd acknowledged the fact that she was ADHD and blah blah blah, but she said there was an initial period where it got harder, and I think when you fully accept and go, this is me, there has to a certain degree, you're then sort of inviting those demons out to start with. You're saying, right, off you go, because you spent your entire fucking life keeping them at bay and controlling them and finding mechanisms that stress you the fuck out, trying to subdue them. You then open that cage, they come out and they're worse for a little while. But the knock-on effect is that dampening of stress and the relief that you feel. I'd imagine that is a diagnosis as an adult would be a wonderful thing once you've got all your ducks in a row, obviously. And like anything, I'm sure people would abuse that revelation and blah blah blah. But homeschooling is the way to support your career. Yeah, specializing. As someone who teaches in public education, well, the community just working outside doesn't mean they'll fix the issue, but accommodation, healthcare. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I've got friends that medicate. This Kiwi runs a life without school part. Oh, okay, cool. That's good. Eye opening. Yeah. But like, and Jon, what's it done for you? And I'm not, obviously it's you, I'm not judging, or this is a genuine question. I'll tell you what, we'll come back to that in a minute, guys. Hang on. Hello, Heather.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry, I hope you haven't been there long. I was looking up at the ceiling, just talking to myself. Thank you very much for coming on. I hope you're well. You're in the gym. I've heard lots of good things.
I'm actually in my office.
Oh, is it?
Technically, it's a gym that side and office this side. Yeah. Yeah.
I know when Henrik was on, he wasn't feeling very well. He had man flu, which is, as we know, it's crushing and debilitating man flu.
And the wife that has to deal with it.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, Heather, I said briefly a little while ago on the show that you were gonna pop on, but you're kind of the architect, let's say, of Coaches Congress. You're working behind the scenes and you're devising it all and everything like that. So, firstly, what an incredible job you guys are doing and yourself. So, thank you for putting on this incredible opportunity for coaches.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Absolutely. And how many have you got? 4 lined up now for the next year?
Yeah, we have London, of course, October 4th, 5th. We have 3 weeks later, we're in Wollongong. And then, yeah, it's going to be a big turnaround, 2 new events. And then we've got January's Stockholm, 24th, 25th. I think I got the dates wrong, but yeah. And then the 8th, 9th February is Berlin. And then we'll be in April, we'll be in Madrid. So yeah, busy, but fun.
That'll be awesome. Henrik said Madrid one is the first time you've done it there, but it's also just around the corner from where you are. So
yeah, it's not too well. At least we're in the same country, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. So Heather, so a couple of weeks ago, Henrik came on, and then we launched a competition, a ticket giveaway, which all the big names you've roped in. So you've got, Rich Froning with Mayhem, Annie Thor's daughter, and me. All the big names.
Yeah.
So what we were going to do is live on air. We were going to, you were going to announce the 3 winners for the ticket giveaway. And then I will get in contact with them, tag them on Instagram, and let them know that they've got their tickets.
Yep, perfect. So I have Michael McAllister,
Excellent.
whose Instagram handle is that as well, or I don't know. Yeah. And then we have Kyle, who's Kyle B_fitness.
Awesome. So Carl B Fitness. Lovely.
Yep. And then we have Scotty Hearn.
Old Scotty Hearn.
Hearn NY123. Yeah. I actually had to look him up to see if he was Hearn, New York City or New York, but I think he's Scottish. So,
oh, yeah. Lovely. Yeah. Hearn. I think it's Hearn. Jon's in the chat. He'll know if that's a Scottish name. Not too sure myself, but that's brilliant. So we've got Michael, Kyle, and Scotty. Michael, Kyle, Scott. There's a ring to that. Yeah. Awesome. So what we'll do, I'll get in contact with the three winners and their nominees who they nominated, and let them know that they're coming to Coaches Congress on the 4th and 5th of October at Twickenham. And tickets are still available. Is that right, Heather? For
tickets are still available. Absolutely. So we'll be selling up to the day. We're not we have excellent space. This venue.
Lovely. Brilliant. And I was saying to Ed, I know Ed's a good friend of Henrik's, Ed Morrison in Australia, and the rest of the world, it would appear.
Lovely guy.
Yeah. About the access to the rugby match on the Saturday. And so we're all looking forward to that.
I know. That's going to be one of my logistical nightmares, but that'll be good. Herding for 400 plus people through the concourse and not losing people en route. I've got a good team to do it. Yeah.
We can get some headbands or something.
Little flags. Yeah. I used to be a kindergarten teacher, so I figure I got it down.
Yeah. There's those little bands that you can hold, like buddy system, where you get like a little, yeah. I've seen that. We could do that.
You want to be with Rich? Yeah.
Maybe. Well, Facundo's coming, isn't he? I think.
Facundo's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll hold Facundo's hand. We can go. We can go together. Me and Jon can go as a 3 with him. Well, I've got Facundo coming on our show on Thursday, so we'll have a chat about Coaches Congress. Yeah,
Super.
We'll have a chat with him.
Great guy. Awesome. Really great guy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Aren't they all? Lovely. Thank you so much, Heather.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you in October.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you coming on. Cheers, Heather. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Amazing. How good is that, eh? Yeah, Facundo can go in the middle. So we've got Michael McAllister, Carl B Fitness, and Scotty Hearn. You guys have all won a pair of tickets for Coaches Congress. So I will get you after this. I'll grab Instagram and do that. Hold his pocket. Do you remember that in Prison Break? What was the guy's name? What was the guy? The fuck. What was the main guy name? The main guy's name that had everyone holding his pocket. What's his name? Fuck. Oz. Okay. Teabag. That was it. Teabag. Fucking hell. That was weird, wasn't it? Prison Break was such a weird. Like the first 2 seasons were amazing. And then they just copied and pasted it, didn't they? Which series was it when they went abroad? It was like in Venezuela or somewhere. That was quite a good one as well. But yeah, never mind. Right. What are we talking about? Right, here we go. But it's not done anything in particular. I've done a lot through guidance, therapy, and so I just don't. Okay. So as an adult, diagnosed and knowing, hasn't really done much in terms of like changing anything, but it just allows you to acknowledge what's going on. Maybe it allows you to step back outside of the situation, to be able to see it from a different perspective, maybe, and then address it. Don't know. You'd have to tell me. The escape was just the beginning. I did like that with the whole tattoo thing, though. That's a very good concept. Wentworth Miller had his fair share of mental health issues, didn't he? Apparently. No, yeah, but yeah. So the kids did that workout, and every time they do workouts, and we've got to gamify it. So there was another. I don't know if I got the video actually. I got. I got them to record their scores. And it was quite nice actually. Where are we? Who are you? Do. Video file. I'm a video phone. So hang on, it's only a short video. Never mind. Let's have a look. See if I can do it from here. I'm a video phone. Can't bring it up. It's fine. I got a video of them writing down their scores on the chalkboard and adding it all up. So doing maths work there, and it's one of those things where gamifying it. Yeah, I mean, do it again. Yeah, 2 months time. Yeah, and again, it's a really quick, easy format to do. But 4 minutes is tricky, isn't it? 4 minutes is a really tricky window for adults as well. They were doing it the other side of the gym to the adults that were doing it. And I think it can be really, really good for kids to be around adult behavior, around positive adult behavior. Just like we don't want them being around negative adult behavior because we know it'll impact them. Therefore, that logic, the other end of the spectrum of adults behaving well, working hard, putting in good values, working well as a team, effort, that is all transferable and it's behavioral and they can learn that. And where better than a CrossFit gym to do that? Especially with mum and dad training, although I was coaching. That's a good thing actually, is that I'm going to open my window because I'm getting really fucking hot. Oh, there we go. They get to see me as coach, so they get to see me at work and they understand what I do for a living. And then you talk about money, you talk about ownership, you talk about earning potential, you look at value, you look at job satisfaction. The fact that earning isn't necessarily the priority for your career and your job. The satisfaction of your job and the change you're making to people is probably for me the priority. You'd be naive to think that you don't need to earn money, obviously, or the money's not important, but earning enough for humble goals is probably about right where I'm at now. Yield. We got asked the other day if we're homeschooling again this year. And it's funny because people when they ask that, I think there's an assumption that it's a temporary measure or it's something that is an alternative. And I think mentally I'm past that point now. I like to think that homeschooling is the primary method, and putting them into school system would be an alternative. You get what I mean? What's the temp there? I mean, it's not fucking hot. Like, it's just I'm in a tiny room and the window is shut and I'm used to a bit of airflow. When you live on a small island, you get used to like a certain breeze and airflow. And when that's gone, you just fucking roast. Weather, whether I like it or not. So we use centigrade, Aaron. So today it's 18 degrees. So what's 18 degrees in Fahrenheit? What is 18 Celsius in Fahrenheit? Like I said, it's not hot today. Oh, it's only F equals 9/5 by C plus 32. It's 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not exactly roasting, but it's just in this room. But yeah, all good. So rest of the day, what have we got? We have a hybrid school near us, and it's 3 days. So it's tries to make homeschooling more. So yeah, I do like that. Sort of like when you got your kid in nursery and you do, not that we did nursery, we did 1 day a week. We didn't like putting our kids into nursery. Yeah. 53. Okay. It's early in the morning though, isn't it? It's just gone midday here, Augustus. So they're not even, yeah. It's funny, we forget that we don't really have that many bugs on the island, like as in like mosquitoes and shit. We don't have any mosquitoes. They just don't live here. My kids' school days, homeschoolers were an oddity and judge. In my kids' school days, homeschoolers were, yeah. These days, families seeing a judge, tables turning one, you know. I don't know if, Jodie, that, like, I can only speak for myself. I don't think there's a judgment of people that send their kids to school, because the overwhelming majority of people do that. I don't think if you're in a majority, you can be judged as a minority, can you? So when the yeah, I certainly don't judge people who send them to school. Like I said, at any time, I would throw my kids back into school if I felt it was necessary. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was why I used to do chest and buys on a fucking Friday night at about 7 o'clock, Augustus. I'd take my going out stuff with me to the gym. I'd get changed and get all showered. And I'd go straight from the gym out looking absolutely jacked. Probably when I was about your age, actually. Oh my God, I sounded really old then. Oh, that's gross. What else was I going to talk about? Homeschooling question. I've got a question for you. I can't answer this for you. Do you feel, for those of you that don't go to a box, to an affiliate, do you feel like you get briefed enough before each workout? So do you feel like when you're going into the workout, your 3 to 5 minute brief at the beginning is enough for you to understand the intent and the purpose of the next hour of your day? Do you feel like that is done well enough? For me, it's my current focus when I'm coaching. Yeah, it depends on the coach. In my opinion, if I brief everyone effectively and make them understand what we're looking for for the next hour, the intent, the purpose, the motivator behind the components, they're more likely to be able to do it themselves without loads of fucking coaching. So if you can get them at the beginning quiet, control the room, brief them on the intent of the workout, even if you didn't tell them the rep range, which you usually need to, as long as you've got 20 people and you do a mass bloody broadcast of the intent and they're all listening in, when they go into their warm-up, they will go into it knowing what to do, and the cogs will start ticking, turning, and they'll be able to start thinking about it and planning ahead. Whereas I think if you don't do that effectively, you're constantly going to be trying to keep up with 20 different people and talk to them about, have the same conversation and have to scale for them, talk about numbers, talk about volume, talk about what they're trying to achieve, why they need to move well, why they're trying to go heavier, why they're trying to go more intense on certain pieces and reining off a little bit. People can apply it to themselves during, and have that thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's funny that that's still a thing, isn't it? I guess it's the same thing, but you get people say that CrossFit's been watered down and your average gym member doesn't go as hard. But on the other hand, we've still got those guys that RX plus everything or RX everything. We'll see. I think a lot of the time it's always men in it. Most of the time they'll RX it when no one else is, or so that they can hide their shitty performance behind the fact that they went too heavy, or like the 2015 Open when they introduced a scaled option and half the gym should have scaled. Was it 2015 or was it the year before where they started scaling, where it kicked off with 7 ring muscle ups? It was like 7 ring muscle ups, wall balls, and double unders, I think. And no, it was before they scaled. It was before it scaled, because we had a load of people. I think it must have been like a 7-minute workout or a 10-minute workout. We just had a load of members just standing there underneath rings, just looking at them for the whole time, unable to do a pull up, let alone a muscle up. No tie break, obviously. Yeah, you got to try to RX everything, but if it again, if I'm briefing the whiteboard and everyone knows what I'm after today, then if they RX it and they look like a clown, at least you've tried to make the effort to make them realize that's not what we're after today. But yeah. And Augustus, it doesn't stand, unfortunately. Yesterday, was it yesterday? What day? No, fuck, what day was it? Saturday. Fuck me, the week's gone fast. Saturday morning, I had a member turn up 3 minutes late, and then they're at the back of the room gassing. So I just kept stopping and saying, "Do you want to share anything? We're trying to brief." I do it in a comical way. I don't I don't humiliate them, but enough so that they don't carry on talking. And if you want to talk throughout my briefing, go to the bathroom and talk, and then completely miss out on the intent and the stimulus of the workout. But then don't you fucking dare ask me questions about the workout, or even worse, go and ask someone else in the class, because you don't talk to me about it because you know that I wanted you to listen in, and then disturb someone else's session by asking them what the session's about and what to do. Arrive on time, listen to the brief, crack on. So then goes, try to, all right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're all on the same page. I think it went. So Aaron, right. So very, very good point, right? And there once was a man. there was this guy called Ty, and he ran a course called the Affiliate Solution. And that was fucking hell, ages ago. I think he does a podcast now in Australia. He was an Australian guy. And he had a couple of, I think it was jiu-jitsu clubs, and he had a couple of affiliates and he sold them. And he used to do this affiliate solution thing where he'd tour the world and do like I think it was a 1 day or 2 day course. I'm going to shut the window again now. Hang on. He would do a 2 day course and it would be all about running an affiliate. And he was an early adopter of Chris Cooper as well, I think, with Two Brain. But he discussed this point, right, about not joining the class if you're late. And up until then, the common policy with most CrossFit gyms, and you may well have, you probably were in CrossFit. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but it was common practice that if you were late, you did burpees, and it was like 10 burpees for every minute you were late, right? And it was sort of standard. And then we kind of came upon this stumbling block where you're punishing people for coming to the gym a few minutes late. And trust me, lateness is something I won't stand for, right? I cannot get my head around the fact why people would be consistently late. And it is always the same fucking people. It is always the same people. In every fucking gym, you've got 3 people at least that always arrive at the same time late every session. It's always like 3 minutes late every time. Doesn't matter what session they come into, or 5 minutes late for every time they come to session. And it just becomes their habit. And for me, one, that tells me all I need to know about someone, and I can guarantee I know what the rest of their life's like. Chaos, always running late. Anyway, judgment aside, they are paying members at the end of the day. They're paying the same amount as everyone else. Now, as long as they're not interfering with anyone else's workout, that's the caveat here. Should we be punishing them for getting to the gym late? Right? I'm not particularly proud of this. Well, there was an evolution in what we did. So it used to be 10 burpees per minute that you were late. So if you arrived 5 minutes late, 50 burpees. When we got rid of that, and it was all because I went on this affiliate solution course, they convinced me that punishing members for turning up late was my problem to deal with. And I needed to have parameters in place that didn't punish the person, right? So what was advised, and this analogy was given, right? If you're going on an airplane, you're going to the airport, the gate closes at a certain time because they then have to lock up the plane, close the doors, and fly away. And the analogy they gave was, if the gate's closed, that's the rule. You don't let them on the plane. If the gate is closed and you do let them on the plane, you don't then humiliate them and punish them because you let them onto the plane. You have to have these rules in place and these parameters that say, if you're X amount of time late, you don't get to join in with the class. And that was where we went. So I went with a 5-minute window. If you're late, obviously exceptional circumstances given, because 5 minutes is at which point we start the warm up. So the brief starts on the hour or on the start time, and we've got 5 minutes to efficiently brief, effectively ask for scaling, ask anyone any questions they've got. You've got a 5-minute window to get that done. At that point, we start the warm up. If you don't do the warm up, you don't get to join in with the class. It was the way that we went with it, not for multitude of reasons, but as well as, you're not going to warm up effectively. You might get injured. I do not want you getting injured in my class. That's not the point of what we're doing. We're trying to make you healthy. So if you're missing out on that warm up, I'm sorry, you don't get to join. Now that was after that, we'll see. Yeah. I think owners on the line financially don't. Yeah. Well, this is the other thing. If you've ever been an owner of a club, a members club, specifically a CrossFit gym here, all you need is 10 members to leave and you're fucked. You can't open the doors the next month. You don't get paid. You can't afford the electricity bill. You can't pay the landlord. Think about that. 10 members. And things like cancellation clauses. So if you cancel, 3-month notice period. If the summer month comes around and you have 10 members say, I want to pause my membership for summer, you are fucked. You are really fucked. The systems have to be in place. And the late thing is a system. You have to have that in place and regulations. You have to set the standard that people can then, abide by. Of course, there's going to be exceptional circumstances. But generally speaking, I think the 5-minute mark is probably acceptable. They missed the briefing, which is frustrating as a coach, but we're adults. We treat people with adult. If they don't want to, if they don't want to get there on time and they're 3 or 4 minutes late, that's on them. They missed the briefing. I can quickly give them a rundown, but I'm not going full whack with the briefing again. I shouldn't be. And so this is the thing, right? Again, exceptional circumstances aside, your coaches should never be hot, sweaty, peeling themselves on the floor and then coaching straight away. Your coaches should never be in that situation. That shouldn't be the case. And fuck me, you are never joining in with the class when you're supposed to be coaching. From my opinion anyway, I cannot fathom how anyone can spot the floor across the room full of people and effectively get a session in. I don't think there's any urgency where you need to be doing that. However, I'm one person. Coaches being late, again, exceptional circumstances aside, is unforgivable in my opinion. Now, I talked the other day to Ed and I said my alarm didn't go off for my 5 o'clock session. And I had a load of people waiting outside my gym for me for 20 minutes. In 2017, that would have been August 2017. And it haunts me to this day. I have 3 alarm clocks every morning because of that. If you are a coach, if you're on time, you are at the gym at least 15 minutes before the session starts. You're getting the iPads ready. You're making sure the drinks are stocked up. You're making sure the tellies or the whiteboards are fully legible and done. You make sure the kit is where it needs to be. Your door is wide open. You're saying hello. You're greeting people as they come in. You're checking them into the class. You're asking them how their day's been. You are doing that 15 minutes before the session starts. You are there. You are leading that room for the next hour. It's on you as a coach. You don't arrive 2 minutes before the session, people waiting outside in their cars. You go in, you turn the music on, you turn the iPad on, and then you brief. What a crock of shit. That isn't effective. That's not premium value. That's not what gyms like ours should be promoting. And again, it comes down to the owners. It comes down to the affiliate owners to make sure it's their job to ensure that is the standard. It's all about setting a standard that people can follow. You've got to set that example. Just like with your kids, you're setting the example they're going to follow. If you create a shit show, people are going to live in a shit show and they're going to expect that. And that's what's acceptable to them. That's just how it is. We're human. We follow, we copy, we emulate what we see and what we respect. I know people do it, and again, there's circumstances, right? Isn't there? Let's say it's a 5K run. Let's say it's, well, no, I can't even justify it. Either you or your class or both are going to have a half session. You're going to get half the stimulus out of it. I can't. Yeah, I can't. It might. Do you know what? It might just be that I'm not up to scratch to do it. It might be that some people can have the capacity, the ability to fucking crush a workout and coach. It might be the case, but for me, it's a definite no. Now, weightlifting, powerlifting, different story. The nature of the sessions is very different. If you are in a relaxed environment for an hour and a half, 2-hour session where you're doing heavy strapped clean pulls and then a 5x5 squat and then some accessory work and some arms, you're doing a set every 5-6 minutes. You're chatting between sets. There's an opportunity there for the coach leading the session to do their sets between. But that isn't CrossFit. That's weightlifting or powerlifting. Yeah. So that was briefing ticked. I got an email from CrossFit today saying that I need to do my L2 runs out. So I've got the decision. So I've got to do my L3, really, haven't I? I need to sign up for that. What if it's one person? Then I still don't. I've never done that. Like, if it's one person class, it's PT, and I can give them all the attention. They ask you to join in. I don't want to join in. I've already trained, or I'm training later. Every single day, I know exactly when I'm going to train. I plan, and I do that effectively. I didn't know that it was going to be one person on that session until it starts. All right, I'm 4 minutes behind. Okay, that's fine. Which the other thing is, on Castro's week in review thing, I've asked a question on there. Not obviously not as good as David Weed's question from this week, but I asked a question about CrossFitters, so everyday CrossFitters at the gym. Why don't they use power and weightlifting competitions, local ones, local meets, like a tier 3, we'd call it, an official one, but the lowest sort of rank one? Why don't they use them toward their training goals and as part of their training cycles? I think there's a lot of merit to doing it. You learn about lifting under pressure. You learn about good form. You learn about training cycles. You learn about what you perform like in a different environment. Regularly learn and play new sports. We all do weightlifting and powerlifting as part of CrossFit. You don't necessarily have to train specifically. You don't have to hit certain numbers. So you just do it. Houston, do you mean see you in 55 minutes? Oh, yeah. I personally think we need to. People are. Look at it. How many CrossFitters at each of these gyms are doing Hyroxes to test their work capacity in the cardio and aerobic world? A lot, right? How many people in each CrossFit affiliate are doing that for the strength sports? You might have 1 or 2 tops maximum. Why is that? I think it's a totally underutilized source of testing that we can apply as part of your cycle for CrossFit. You don't have to do anything different. Just buy a singlet and you're done. You're good to go. You just sign up for the competition and you turn up and you do it. I'd encourage a lot of people, if you haven't ever considered that or you haven't really done it, it's so simple. So simple to do. You just turn up and do it. It's great. It's good fun. You learn more about yourself than a lot of other types of competition. There's no hiding. What's this? Condensed updates. I look great in singing. No music. You're on stage. The whole room is watching you lift at max capacity. Takes guts to do that. There's no hiding. You're not hiding in a hall full of 50,000 people. You're on your own, Sonny Jim. And you get to test officially. You get official 1RMs. You get official stamped by the governing body lifts, not CrossFit lift, deadlift 1RM that you drop it from the halfway point. I think the reason we don't do it is because we're not strong and there's a sense of not wanting. Yeah, but I mean, how many CrossFitters are doing high roxes and not winning? Or, you know, and again, I think a lot of people would be surprised at tier 3 local meets about how regular everyday CrossFitters, how strong we are. You go to a powerlifting comp, go to a weightlifting comp, and you'd be surprised if you look at like the British champs that just went weightlifting. I think it was something like 60% of them go to a CrossFit gym. Like, we are supplying these sports with athletes. You'd be amazed. Like, I run powerlifting powerlifting clubs, weightlifting clubs, and CrossFit clubs. Even though they're specialized, there's not much in it. It's fun. It's really good fun. It will encourage people to, you know, lift better, to lift more weight, and to not hide behind cardio all the time. In terms of testing, that is, obviously. Laura Hov has a stream version of what you're saying, but she's killing it on Ollie comps. Yeah, I mean, she's not a shit CrossFitter, is she? Like, she's pretty good. And I think she won the Hungarian champs, or she went to Euros, I think. And she can do all the other shit. And then you scale that back down the ranks and you go to a tier 3, which is what I'm talking about, which is your everyday person can attend and register. You don't have to qualify for it. You just attend. It's like a scaled comp, but you also get people that are trying to use it to qualify. And there's no pressure. You're not competing directly with many people. It's a beautiful way to test. And I'm saying, once people have done one, they'll see what I mean. It's a really fun, different way of doing it. And I encourage anyone to do it. If anyone has got any questions about that, just get in contact. Like, me and Jon have fucking taken hundreds of people to comps, and we've done them ourselves. So if anyone needs any assistance with that, we're all good. What have a good. You know what? That's all my points. All my points. What have I got today then? So I have got, speaking of lifting, I've got my teens lifting camp finishing off this week, and we're doing deadlifts today. It should be fun. I don't know if you've ever tried to teach teenagers how to deadlift. They have got the most awkward bodies for deadlifting ever. Hello, Craigie. Hey, Craig. They've got the anatomy is of like a giraffe with no coordination. It's so strange. Take like a 13 to 16-year-old boy, majority of the time mental. Like, the deadlifting is just a very odd time for them. Whereas I've got an 11-year-old lad on it who's fucking really explosive. I want him to do weightlifting. he moves like a dream, but anatomically he hasn't hit puberty yet, where he starts to be all weird and his features go all weird and his limbs get all long, and he turns into that weird shitting dog deadlift thing. Yeah, all fun. So I've got that. That'll be fun. And then I've got a bit of PT, and then I've got a Commonwealth Games meeting tonight where we're talking about that, which is next year. And my lad Alfie, by the way, let's bring this up. Hang on. We go. Let me show you. British weightlifting. Para. Is this the right one? There we go. Right, hang on. I want to show you this. Let me show you this. So this is British powerlifting, which is obviously part of British weightlifting. The athletes selected to represent GB at the Elite World Champs. There's Alfie. So Alfie is a junior. So he's under 23. He's actually 16. And he has been selected as part of Team GB for the World Powerlifting Champs at the age of 16, which is fucking brilliant. How about that, eh? Age 16 representing GB at bench. So cool. He's a lad, honestly. What I know I talked about this a while ago, but it's totally different experience coaching adaptive athletes, or para in this instance. Once your threshold for like obstacles has been raised to where they've had 6 operations to lengthen their knees, or they've had complete paralysis below L3 and they've learned to walk on their hands, or they're missing a limb and they can snatch 90 kilos or whatever. Once your threshold for that has been raised, oh bloody hell, once your threshold for that and the hurdles that you see people going through have been raised, it's tough to get excited about fully able-bodied people crushing stuff, because you think, well, you didn't have to do this. And I know they work fucking, trust me, I am an able-bodied athlete. Like, I am one. But like when you see what, like the medical side of it, like the medication, I won't go into detail, but for certain paralyzed people having to take medication to get their bowels moving, and the timing of that has to be immaculate. Before a competition, they have to adapt that 3 weeks early so that they aren't then likely to have an accident when they're on stage. Like the medication they're taking, and then the type of chairs they're using, and then there's this whole fucking myriad of hurdles that you and I do not ever fathom that they have to go through just to be able to compete. Then they compete, rather than just, oh, I can't fucking find my knee sleeves. It's like, huh? These people have like gone through hell to be at this competition, and you're moaning about some shitty thing like you can't find a fucking protein bar. It's just mental. And I think every coach should at least research or try and have some idea of what it means to people to be able to compete in the adaptive divisions and para. The actual competition is the last obstacle. It's the last thing they're thinking about as being hard. They get to do it. We always talk about that thing. Ben Bergeron talked about it in his book, didn't he? Chasing Excellence. Don't think you have to do it. Think you get to do it. The para and adaptive athletes, like, when they're on the floor, when they're on the gym floor, and when they're 3, 2, 1, go, they're like, "Oh, I can relax now. I've made it here." Whereas able-bodied people like us, we get there and they're like, "Oh no, the workout." It's like it's a totally different thing. And in coaches, if you ever get the opportunity to work with an adaptive or a para division, like I'm getting Nigel back on for all adaptive soon. Um, what a fulfilling experience it is to be able to do that, to be able to share that with someone, and to be able to understand truly how hard it is. Travel, getting somewhere in a wheelchair on a plane, through an airport, on a plane, off the plane the other end, and out of the airport, and then in a taxi. Try getting a taxi for a wheelchair. That's just the fucking plane journey. Honestly, it like I'm not gonna bang on about it, but yeah, full respect. And back to Alfie. Alfie's been through a shit show with his disability, and now he's representing Team GB age 16 at the World Champs. So, and his parents are fucking mind blowing. So yeah, what an incredible world to kind of dabble in and to be introduced to and understand. It's really cool. Um, yeah, cool. Anyway, Sevi is on late today. I think he's got the Froning on, and it's coming up to 1 p.m. here, which is in 4 hours. I think Sevi's on, so you've got 4 hours to wait for that. How do you guys look up? So his dad trains at our gym, and Alfie 2 years ago decided he wanted to just get really fucking strong. So he started doing some bodybuilding work, and bench was one of the movements he could do, and he soon realized that he was very good at it. And aged 15, let me just do the maths before I tell you the wrong number. Aged 15, 205, he benched 350 pounds, aged 15. And he recently benched over 400. He benched over 400. Okay, I was wrong on that. So age 16, he's benched 400 pounds, and he's in the GB squad at the World Champs age 16. He'll be the youngest there by a fucking country mile. Like men don't tend to peak for power until our 30s. He's 16 and he's benching 400 pounds at the World Champs, and he's been through all that shit. I mean, like, yeah, he's pretty cool. Oh, Jon's back. Lock up your granddads. Okay, cool. So on regular time, Fronin will come on 2 hours in. Okay. Gay rapper on at 7, Fronin on at 9. Okay, cool. I weighed about the same time. So that, yeah. Yeah. So I'm hoping this October the 11th, I think, till the 18th. So it's a week long because there's so many divisions. I think. Or was it 17th, 18th? I don't know. Yeah, I won't be going to Egypt because GB are coaching him, and they're far better than I am. But yeah, all good. So yeah, so Sevi's on. Have a look, shall we? Not that I'm doubting you. Not that I'm doubting you. I just saw. So Rich is on. Yeah, Rich is on 5 o'clock our time. So Rich is on in 4 hours. So therefore, that other guy's on 2 hours before. Is that right? Is that what you said? Anderson Barouse, is that right? Yeah, so he's on in 2 hours. Bronin's on after that, and then Gregosaurus Rex is on tomorrow at normal time. That's cool. What a lovely day of shows, eh? Is that the rap battle dude? Yeah. Yeah, apparently. Ask him why. Yeah, I will. I'll try and Rich didn't reply to us this time. He did before, though, didn't he? So funny story. Rich sent us a message on the Outside the Box Instagram channel, and it was in our junk folder, our hidden responses. So it was sat there for a couple of days. Rich phoned and messaged us, and we didn't reply for 2 days. That was when he sent. Was it Rachel's son, Jon? Was it Rachel's kids? He sent a care like. She said that they like him more than Batman, and then he sent them a care package of all like loads of mayhem shit. How awesome's that? Just went out of his way to do it, just because he could, just because wanted, just because he wanted to. But yeah, I'll ask him why he hasn't replied. Moron. Morning. Yeah, it was Rachel's kids. Grant, did you manage to sleep? I spoke to you about 5 hours ago. I'm hoping you got a little bit of sleep. Jon, we need to get Rachel back on, don't we, soon, before October. He bloody is, isn't he? He bloody is. Grant's back. Grant is back, baby. Good. Right, okay, so we're coming up to an hour and a half. If anyone has got... Oh, did Mr. 5 a.m. What's his name? Adam. Is that your name, Adam? I think so. Here we go. 4:45 a.m. tomorrow morning live. Come work out and win your morning. So is that 5 a.m.? So I'll find you on YouTube. Hang on. And I'll subscribe. Because your 4:45 a.m. 5 a.m. squat. Is it club? 5 a.m. squat club. Yeah, there you go. Subscribed. Cool. I'm in. I won't be doing it. I'll be there in the chat, just talking absolute nonsense. But I'll be there. So it's EST. So Adam, what time is that from? Like, so, what time is it now? Where you are? Is it 6:45 a.m. now, or 5:45 a.m. now? I'll be able to figure it out from there. Because it's 1 p.m. here now. But yeah, I'll join in. I'm not going to do the workout. I might. I'll see how I go. Depending on what time it is, you see, because it's in the middle of my afternoon or morning. I might be coaching. Just let me know. 7:57 a.m. Cool. Okay. So that was 3 hours ago. So it'll be 9:45. Cool. Okay. I can probably do some of that. Is Adam like the CrossFit version of Joe? Yeah. I'll cheer you on. I'll be in the chat cheering you on. How about that? And then one day I might join in this week. I've got a lot to prepare for at the moment. Can you give me a bit of advice, those of you with tattoos on your arms? I shave this one because it looks better, right? And I get more vascular. Jon, I don't have any ink yet on this arm. So I let the hair grow, but it looks a bit odd where I don't have hair on one and then hair on the other. Should I shave this arm? Or should I keep it hairy? What do you think? Let's do a poll. We won't do a poll. Yeah, anyway. Talking about shaved arms now. We need to go, don't we? Shave them both. Shave both on a ride. Very odd. It is right, and it does look retarded. So, Matt, I know you're my biggest fan. So, I'll shave that, shall I? All right. I'll do that today. And then I'll show Facundo my vascular, muscly arms on Thursday in 2 days' time. Cool. All right, then. Shave them both. Yeah, see, PK gave me some advice, and they definitely look better smooth. Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement. No, they've got to be done. I think we can. Yeah, I reckon so. Most people do. My father-in-law does. And he's got this gigantic vein down here. He's very, very muscular. He's very muscular, very lean, 58-year-old, very jacked. Shave half it. Yeah. What do you mean though? Do you mean like the back half or down the middle or what we're talking about? Right. 1 o'clock. So I'll go have my lunch. I haven't eaten yet. There's a fun fact for you. I only shaved one ball. Yeah. Like Two-Face from Batman. Right. I'm going to go. You lot have a couple of hours of you time. And then you've got that whapper. Guns don't kill people. Whappers do. Down the middle. Cool. Okay, nice one. Right. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Really, it was a pleasure having you here with me. I am next on Thursday evening. No, I might be on Thursday morning. I tell a lie. On here with someone. If not, I might be on my own. And then Thursday night, Jon and I are on with Facundo, the mighty Facundo over on the Glinton Things channel. So come along and join us there. And that'll be 7 p.m. our time, which is 1 p.m. Facundo time. And Facundo's in at Mayhem, to whatever time zone that is. I'm assuming it's central. Cool. Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a nice day. Oh, yeah. Friday night on Glinton is all four of us. Bye. See you later.